Welcome to tonight's episode of Beyond Focus TV. I'm your host, Lydia Patel, and I have another special guest for you for the next 30 minutes. Trisha Ocona will be with me. She is a licensed real estate broker right here in the state of New York and New Jersey. She's with us, so keep it right here. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV allows you to discuss contemporary topics affecting the Caribbean people on both a national and local level. The show features informed guests who offer insight, debate, and evaluate various issues. Beyond Focus TV builds on the station's mission to provide useful information to the Caribbean people in New York and abroad. Beyond Focus TV, where our viewing audience can get educated, informed, and empowered. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm your host, Lydia Patel. And like I said, I have a very special guest with me for the next 30 minutes. She'll be giving you a lot of information if you're interested about real estate, buying a home, purchasing a home, maybe even keeping your home. Trisha Ocona is the one you're definitely going to want to speak to. Trisha, welcome to Beyond Focus TV.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, and it's so glad to actually have a female doing this. We're going to have you give us all the information because this is a great time for real estate. A lot of people are interested in buying a home. There's still a lot of people struggling to keep their homes. So let's get straight to it. You have over 15 years of experience. Give us a little bit of your background, how this all got started.
When I was much younger, I managed a real estate law firm, believe it or not. And, you know, I came in there as administrative assistant, but I made sure I learned how to do everything. I was going to college in the night, working there in the day, and I'm just the type of person that I need to learn everything when I get into a situation. So I would sit in the lawyers' meetings, skip lunch. I would even go into the bathroom and watch how the janitor was cleaning the bathroom. So everyone would say, why would you do something like that?
Yeah.
Well, the manager's position became open. And during that time, they contacted job agencies to try to find someone to replace them. In the meantime, as the administrative assistant, I was doing the role of the manager. And then one of the partners turned around and said, why don't we just give Trisha the job?
Right.
And it worked because I already knew how to do everyone's job. I was preparing myself during that whole time so I can go into the bathroom and realize when the janitor didn't do his job properly. From then, it was a real estate law firm. From that time, I didn't know that I wanted to do real estate. But after a time, I realized it was but so far that I can get into this company. And I left and I got into real estate.
And that's how it started.
That's how it started. And a quick thing, my mother took the class with me. And when she never became licensed, but when she took the class with me, she said, if I knew then what I knew now, I would have never bought our home. I would have bought a home, but I wouldn't have bought our home because I realized the real estate agent, the lawyer, the mortgage person, everybody robbed me. And from then, I knew I hit the jackpot.
And that's something that you definitely wanted to get into, especially coming from a personal experience like that.
Absolutely.
And you touched upon something very, very interesting because we always see that you could take a real estate class. Now, just because you take the class doesn't mean that you're licensed, correct?
Right.
So let's go into that.
So I teach right now at Medgar Evers College. I teach the real estate courses. There are a lot of people in my class who do not want to be a real estate agent. They don't want it as their profession. Some of them just want to know the content that's in there. Maybe they own homes or they want to be a homeowner. You're learning about mortgages, inspections, appraisals, every little thing, every professional's job, you're learning a piece of it in the class. And that's why it's so important and many people want to take it anyway.
And then what's the next step? Should you decide to be licensed? How do you go about doing that?
Oh, well, you have to take the course and then you have to take 2 exams. And if you're taught by me, you're very prepared for it. And then you find a broker that wants to work with you and I tell you how to get that done as well. And then you're licensed. It's about 75 hours of work. and you, depending on the school you go to, it can go very fast, or it can take your time. I advise people to take their time, but I'm at Medgar Evers, so they're always welcome to call there and register for my class. This is every semester.
Absolutely, and I think at the end of the program, we'll definitely let everybody know how to do that. It's a good part-time career. I hear a lot of people who decide to go into it and just take it slow and then develop it into something that could flourish into you never know what. So, of course, Trisha, you could be a professor of that. I wanted to talk about owning a home.
Yes.
What are the first steps? For our Beyond Focus TV family who's watching the program, some of them are renters right now. How would you transition from being a renter to a buyer, first-time buyer?
Well, you know what? That's the question I get all the time. The first thing I want to always tell people is, are you in a union? If you're in a union, check with your union. Many unions have first-time home buyer resources, and benefits. So check with them and see. The next thing you want to do is check with your 401k representative. Many times 401k allows you to borrow up to $10,000 tax-free, penalty-free to buy a home. So check with them. Everything I say, I always tell everyone to check with a professional. The next thing you want to do is check your credit. Check on your credit, clean up your credit, and do not go to a credit company, repair company. Do not go to them.
I was going to ask you about that.
No, you do not need to go to them. They take your money that all you need to do is pay down your debt, and that's how you clean up your credit. These people cannot, and that's a whole nother show, but I can explain to you what they do and why it doesn't work and why you shouldn't do it. So definitely do that. And then work on saving. You should really do increase your income, lower your expenses, and put away some money. Typically, if you do want a FHA loan, which is, one of the most common loans, 3.5% of the purchase price. Then anywhere between 3 and 5% for closing costs, and then you could add a little bit more room for reserves and maybe a little expenses you may have to, like an inspection and appraisal. So pretty much, I was speaking to a potential client the other day. They were looking at buying a $300,000 house. We calculated about $30,000 to have cash liquid for them to purchase this home.
Okay, so that's not too bad. And of course, if you're looking at a home, let's say that's a little more pricier in the 6 range, should you estimate about double that, or?
Yeah, you should definitely estimate double that, because when you put everything together, you'll need a total of about 10%. Give or less, but speak to your mortgage professional. That's what I'm assuming is if you're doing FHA, which is 3.5% down, we just calculated the numbers like that. But like I said, check with your mortgage professional. And I'm a real estate professional. I stay in my lane, but check with your mortgage professional, and they should be able to help you. At the end of the show, I'll give out my website. If anyone is interested in purchasing a home or selling a home at that, you can contact me, and I will guide you through the steps.
And then what is the difference between, of course, purchasing a home for investment, which means you obviously have a primary residence, but do you have to go through a different route should you be interested in purchasing a home that's solely for investment purposes?
Well, definitely. If you are looking to purchase a home for investment purposes, the bank is going to want to see more money, because an investment property is a business. The bank knows that. You're not tricking them about that. They know you're trying to make money. And what is an investment property? Anything that has 5 residents or more, or anything that has a store on it, attached to it. So you will need more money to put down. Typically about 30% is what the bank is really going to want from you in order to do that. But one of the most important things, I think, when you do an investment property is how to analyze that property. You need to really analyze that property and figure out how much it's going to cost you to purchase that home, how much is it going to cost you to hold that home, and when should you get rid of that home. These are all these things that, people that own skyscrapers and millionaires, they calculate those numbers before they purchase the home. And that's what we should do if we want to do an investment property.
Great. Well, hold that thought, Trisha. We'll be right back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. And, of course, don't forget, mark your calendars. June 15th is our official Father's Day Gala that's coming up Sunday, June 15th. And if you want to purchase tickets, you could do so directly on our website, info@beyondfocusmedia.com, or simply check out the website, beyondfocusmedia.com. Stay with us. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. I'm Lydia Patel, and my guest for the evening is none other than Trisha Ocona, who is a licensed real estate broker in the state of New York and New Jersey. So if you want a home here or you want to go to Jersey, if you want to go to the Garden State, you can still get Trisha involved with that. Let's talk about finding an agent.
Okay.
Because there are thousands of agents just in Brooklyn. If you want to focus just on Brooklyn, you see everybody's name, everybody's doing something. So how do you know what's the best agent for you?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that New York State are licensed by the New York State Department of State Real Estate Board. And there are 5, this board is appointed by the governor and the speakers. There are 5 people who sit on this board who are brokers of the state, and I am one of them.
Very good.
Thank you. And so that should be something that, you should look at. Not everyone is going to be on the board, but you should understand what they're coming with when they speak to you. One thing that you need to look for when you speak to a real estate broker or an agent is who do they work for?
Okay.
That's one of the biggest issues that the state, on the state level, I can bring to you that people are trying to figure out. You go out with a person looking to buy, and that person doesn't know if that real estate agent is working for them or against them. And when I say it like that is they can actually be working for the seller. So everything you say to them, if you tell them that you're qualified for $500, but you really only want to pay $4, and their seller wants $500, they're going to get that seller $500 because they know you're qualified for it. So I kind of like to say it the way the police kind of say it. They say anything you say or do can and will be held against you. It's the same thing. It's absolutely the
Great
same
analogy.
thing. Yes. So you have to be very careful of who you're speaking to and stop right in the beginning and say, hey, agent, who do you work for? Do you work for me or do you work for the person against me? And there's actually an agency disclosure form that they're supposed to give you at their first substantive meeting by law. That's supposed to outline that. So I think that's one of the key things that you should look for when you speak to an agent. Do they give you that disclosure form?
Okay, that's very good, because I was going to ask how you even know, but as you outlined, as soon as you go for the initial meeting, and if you don't see it, it's kind of like the Carfax. Ask for it.
Right, absolutely. That's a good analogy as well.
Just ask for it, and you can be able to see that. Now, there's different types of loans, different types of mortgages, and of course, how you qualify for that. There's certain key factors. Again, because most of the people watching our program are somewhat still renters.
Right.
How do you take that to the next level to see if you could qualify for something small?
Like I said, I like to kind of advise people to do FHA, because I believe that through an FHA loan, because of the low down payment, the bank is also, they have to take your ratio into perspective when they're giving you the loan. So they really cannot give you more than you can afford. So they're going to look at your income, they're going to look at your credit, but they're also going to factor in your long-term debt and your short-term debt. And from that, they're going to say, okay, you know what? Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you cannot afford more than $1,200 a month based on your income. So when we take that income and we factor it, and whatever it comes to for a lump sum, you cannot buy a house more than that. And they're going to include what we call your PITI. PITI is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
Okay.
So that's your total housing expense for the month. You cannot buy a house that's going to cost you more than that $1,200 a month, including taxes and insurance.
That's good.
And that's pretty much a way to make sure that the purchaser does not put them in a situation that they can't afford. It's funny because CNN Money just came out with a report that they're bringing back these subprime loans. And that's going to be crazy because subprime loans are, the qualifications are not all there. You can do no stated income. They don't have to verify your income. So you can basically say what you want and no verification. And it's going to cause a lot of trouble. But I truly believe that people should, if the bank tells you, I can only offer you this,
It's for a reason.
It's accept that.
Okay, and that leads me to my next point, which is foreclosures, because unfortunately many people kind of get into a situation. I mean, the economy crashed a few years back. A lot of people lost homes. So a lot of people took advantage of that as well. But let's talk about, I want to spend a couple minutes on that, what that really means when you foreclose, the process of even saving your home if you're currently in that. Let's go on to that.
Foreclosures, it is such a touchy topic because I can even go on how did it even start, but that's a very long topic, and I would need a whole sketchboard to show you. But I truly believe if you feel that you are facing foreclosure or you're about to face foreclosure, you should go and call your bank. That's the first step. Call your bank and ask them for something called a loan modification package.
Okay.
And a loan modification package came out of Obama and President Obama and his administration to help people afford their home. And there are three things that they can help you do. They can, one, lower your interest rate. 2, lower your whole principal balance, or 3, lower your monthly payments. Now they're going to ask you, how much are you making? Why are you falling behind? You're going to have to W-2s. You're going to have to put all this together, and then they'll review it and see if they can help you. Here is what they're really looking for. This is the key that you want to think about. How are you going to raise your income and lower your expenses? That's what they want to see. They want to see that going forward, if they give you this new payment number, that you are going to be able to afford it and you are going to keep it. The next thing is you need to do a hardship letter to explain why did you get in this situation before.
Right.
You got in a divorce, you got sick in the hospital, your tenant didn't pay. Be honest, because you're going to have to show proof. Once you get that package and you fill it out and you send it to them, and they send you something back, contact a HUD-approved counselor. You can go to HUD.gov and get a HUD-approved counselor and take it to them and have them review. Don't just sign it. Don't just accept what the bank tells you. These are these are professionals right in your community that you can speak to.
And what's the process approximately? If I contact my bank, let's say on Wednesday, make an appointment, approximately how long should I be able to start seeing a new payment or even know of an approval?
This is the thing. The bank sometimes, that's a sidebar of it, the banks sometimes don't really want to always help you.
Yes.
You try because you need to, you try this option, but they don't always want to help you. So what they kind of do is they kind of get people to the point where you just want to give up, and I don't think you should. You're gonna send them W-2s. You're gonna call them back and they're gonna tell you send it to them again. And you would think in 2014 that they would have these big computer systems that are scanned, that they can go in your file and see everything. Well, unfortunately, it must not be like that. So they do lose stuff, so you have to just keep calm, be patient, be assertive, and keep organized so you can send it to them again and again and again if you have to. So it can take a while. It can take you a while. That doesn't stop your foreclosure while you're doing that. But I've seen people, and this is why I still, talk about it, I've seen people get their interest rates down from 6% to 3%. I've seen people save their homes. Not a lot, but I've seen people.
Well, hold that thought. We'll continue right here with Trisha Ocona, right here on Beyond Focus TV. And I have to say it again, Father's Day, Sunday, June 15th. It's our 3rd annual Father's Day Gala. Check it out, and you can buy tickets at www.beyondfocusmedia.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. It's the last segment here with Trisha Ocona. Definitely loving the information that you're giving her. And guess what? She's going to be here for another segment. I'm telling you, we're going to bring her back again because you have a wealth of knowledge right here.
Thank you.
Let's continue upon foreclosures because, like we said, such a big topic and a very touchy topic. What about in terms of the foreclosures and you realize that you're going to lose your home? You've got notices. How do you try to save it? Aside from those steps, is there anything else that could be done?
Oh yeah, there's many different options. You have something called a deed in lieu. Deed in lieu is where you can actually give the house back to the bank. It's very difficult because banks are in the business of money, not in real estate. So they know that when they hold on to a property, there's liability for them. You know, the pipes can burst, squatters, crime, snow, all that. So they kind of rather the homeowner owns it. But some people used to think where people would put the key in an envelope and mail it back. No, they have to approve it. Another option is you can try to sell the house. You can absolutely try to put the house on the market. In this market, a lot of the foreclosures are upside down. I found one the other day. The person owes $625 on their mortgage, $625,000. The house is worth $425.
Right.
So they cannot sell it. That's when you could also do a short sale. A short sale is where a third party comes in, a buyer comes in and buys the house for less than what you owe. That's another process where you have to get the bank's approval to accept that. Some people do refinancing. If you haven't paid your mortgage in a while, your credit may not be that great. Or sometimes you don't have equity. But if you can, people go and do a refinance. You have to just be careful that you have very high interest rates, a bad loan sometimes, and you can fall into equity skimming, which is basically you go into foreclosure, you refinance, you go into a foreclosure, you refinance, and you keep on taking away the equity in your house. So there are options. You just have to really sit down with someone and analyze those options. And if that's the case, once again, go to HUD.gov, find a local non-profit approved approved counselor in your area to sit down with you and go through the options with you. They're free of charge. A lot of people are paying people $3,000 to help them. No, do not do that. A lot of those people don't.
Put that towards a mortgage if you're going to do that.
Absolutely, but a lot of those people who you're paying don't even know a drop of real estate. So they just talk fast and they make it sound good. So just make sure you speak to a HUD-approved counselor and they can help you.
That is amazing. I mean, when the stuff that you're talking about is so true, because a lot of people I know could relate to this when they're watching. Now, what is considered foreclosure? How many months behind do you have to be? Realistically?
Well, if you miss your mortgage payment, by the 30th, it's considered, by 15th it's considered late. After that, by the 15th of the month, after that you have late fees. By the 30th day, you're considered 30 days past due. It gets reported to your credit bureau. After about 5 months...
Consecutively?
Yes. That's when your bank says, okay, you know what, we're going to go to legal action and we're going to do what we call a list pendants. That's the reason why I suggest that you speak to a HUD-approved counselor, because you also want to speak to an attorney and I'm not an attorney, so you want to make sure, I must always say that. So a list pendants is a legal action against you, and that's when they're going forth the process of getting your home. In your mortgage, when you bought the house, is something called an acceleration clause. An acceleration clause is what allows the bank to trigger to sell your home. One more thing, because we are in New York, every state, all 50 states have judicial foreclosures, and some states have non-judicial foreclosures. New York, thank God, is only a judicial state, which means the banks cannot foreclose on you without going through a court-supervised foreclosure action.
Okay, so then you'll definitely be notified.
Yes, you'll definitely be notified. You have to be notified properly, and you have right to get a lawyer and defend yourself in court and go through the whole legal process. So you see an attorney, and you could also see a HUD-approved counselor.
Now, what about those ads, Trisha, that we've all heard on TV? We've seen them. They talk about own a home in 30 days for practically little to no money down, and they sound very tempting.
Bait and switch. That's basically is when something sounds too good to be true, a lot of times it is. They're doing that because it sounds tempting, and they catch us. And when they catch us, they say, oh, no, it doesn't really go like that, or we don't really do it like that, and we do it. You see, the thing is, from what I understand, a lot of the newspapers don't have an obligation to verify what they print as advertisements. They're allowed to do that as long as not discriminating. So you as the consumer have to do something called caveat emptor, that we say in real estate, called buyer beware, and just basically look into what you're getting into. And if it doesn't seem right, you back out. Or call someone and find out from them, hey, what do you think about those? But those things are just to catch you and move on.
So definitely stay far away from those. You will not be in your new home in 30 days.
Right. And if you do an inspection and appraisal, a typical home takes 90 days to sell because you have so many, you have titles to review, you have the appraisal, you have inspection. I'm getting ready to sell a property. It's a survey just came up to make sure that the land that they're buying is really the whole land that they're buying. So 30 days, trust me, you don't want to put yourself in trouble for 30 days.
Perfect. And before I let you go, let everybody know your contact information, your website, phone number, email.
Absolutely. So you can definitely contact me at www.trishaocona.com. That's www.trishaocona.com. You can also email me at that's TO at trishaocona.com, trishaocona.com.
Perfect. Trisha, it's been such a pleasure having you on
Thank
the
you for
program.
having me.
Definitely one of my more informative guests, and I'm definitely looking forward to have you back for a second time, most definitely coming up soon. And as always, don't forget, mark your calendars, Sunday, June 15th, Father's Day event is taking place. Beyond Focus TV is having it right here, Sunday, June 15th. It's our Father's Day Gala, and you can get tickets at beyondfocusmedia.com. If you have any other questions, send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. I'm your host, Lydia Patel. We'll see you next time. You're watching Beyond Focus TV. Beyond Focus TV show wants and needs your feedback. Did we blunder? Please let us know so we can improve. Was the show helpful to you? Drop us a note so we can share the success with our staff members. Is there something you think we could do better? We welcome new ideas and new approaches to old ideas. Do you have a great suggestion? Let us know and we'll work on it. If you would like to share your comments anonymously, please send us an email at info@beyondfocusmedia.com. If you want to get in touch with the executive producer directly, send him an email at gene@beyondfocusmedia.com. We really look forward to hearing from you.